Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories. I didn't know how to sing that one. If you do love a Reddit story, please consider hitting a like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's dive straight into today's first story. And as always with relationships, there is an update. A couple actually. This is from a throwaway account who says, me, 17 male, believe my mum, 42 female, is having an affair with her personal trainer, 27 male. I decided to play detective and got some info, but still not sure, even though I feel pretty confident, although hesitant to tell my dad, 44 male, since I really am not sure yet. What a title. So yeah, found this one out since mum has started to act weird lately. She started working out because she wanted to get into shape about a year ago. She worked maybe once or twice a week, but then she worked out from Monday to Saturday. Nothing unusual, but mum got very fit and she started getting attention from guys. She was increasingly more happy, which my dad had no problem with, and seemed happy that she was happy. Mum started acting kinda weird. I asked Dad before I found out if he felt mum had been acting weird, and he brushed it off and said she just feels good about herself and genuinely was happy for her. Mum has been more affectionate and I was not sure what the hell was going on. She is not mum anymore and almost felt like she switched brains with someone else. It was getting disturbing, and one day I got curious when she said she would be late from work, and frankly it had been bugging me for months. So I decided to bike over one evening to where she was working. The car was nowhere in sight, no lights in the building, her workplace has 2 floors, and even checked the local parking garage, every damn floor, no cars. I decided to go home and could not sleep. This was a Friday, and then on Saturday I'd confessed to a friend what I might be suspecting. He suggested I use the Find My iPhone app. I asked my mum if I could borrow her phone to look something up since mine was not charged. She unlocked it and I enabled the app, and she had her Apple password stored on the computer. I used to be allowed to rent a movie on there when I was younger, so I knew the password to her Apple account. Anyway, she left for work. Praying she did not turn on mobile data, I logged in and saw the phone was nowhere near her workplace. Instead, she was in a neighborhood across town. I googled the address and found out a man lived there and searched for the name on Facebook. One mutual friend, guess who? And saw he worked as a personal trainer at the gym where my mum went. Now I was fairly certain that something was not right. I screenshotted the Find My iPhone map and the information I had. Still no evidence she was actually cheating, but I felt I had enough. She had lied to my dad about working late, and what the fuck was she doing at her personal trainer's place on a Saturday night? Should I tell Dad about this and show him what I have now, or do I keep digging because I'm fairly certain she is cheating? I still have not confronted mum about it. I am of course going to tell him if that's the case, but accusing mum of cheating when I'm not 100% sure? But what other possible reason could she have for lying to Dad and then being at her personal trainer's on a Saturday night when she was supposed to be working late? And to all who judge me for digging, nope, I'm not sorry. It was bugging me so badly I could not take it anymore. Now the update is actually attached to this post, so some of the comments are going to be covering that update as well. So we're going to cover those after we cover that update, and then there's a final update after that. But the first part of this post to me, I was rubbing my chin and I was thinking, you might be barking up the wrong tree here. You know, people, when they exercise, they generally are happier and they feel better about themselves, and they start being, you know, maybe even kinder to their family around them and other people around them as well, and showing affection more and all this kind of thing. I feel that way when I exercise. I feel absolutely fantastic. It's that little boost that you get, and I need to get back into it myself actually. But you know your mum better than we ever could, so obviously you could see other signs there as well. Rather than just being happy, the behavior did sound suspicious. And I think it's a very dangerous game that OP is playing at the moment as well. Yet if you accuse your mum of cheating to your dad, you could create all manners of hell. But do you go and tell your dad with this information that you have? I mean, come on, it does sound very suspicious. She says she's working, she's clearly lying to hubby here at the very least. And to be at the personal trainer's house, it is throwing bad signs. So, you know, if this is the case, then I think husband deserves to know. But let's move on to the first update to find out what happens. Update. Hey everybody, I've decided to follow the advice and told my dad and showed him what I had of evidence. Mum came home and decided to let Dad take it from here. She admitted to the affair, and I told my mum what role in all this was and that I had suspected something was off for quite a while. I told Dad he suspected something was off, but I was the one who told him. Dad was very calm, no yelling or screaming, he just calmly asked her what she wanted. Yes, I was listening, and then she said she wanted to try and save the marriage. She came up and talked to me, and I admitted my role in all this and how I suspected something was off for quite a while. Told her I was sorry, but you were acting very strangely and it was driving me nuts. Mum just asked me why I did all of this. I just responded funny. I was about to ask you the same thing. Dad does not deserve this, I said, and she said no, he does not, and she was sorry. I also explained how her behaviour lately was getting on my nerves and how it was bugging me. You were never that affectionate. You started giving me a kiss on the cheek, more hugging. Part of me wondered if you were taking drugs. So yeah, that was weird for me. I said, hell, even my friends thought you were acting strangely. I got questions at school from people who were wondering what has happened to you. I am letting them figure this out now. I am doing okay with this, and if a divorce happens, there is not going to be a custody issue since I turn 18 in December. So for me, things will not change that much. Dad and I decided to go and see a movie later in the evening. We saw Suicide Squad, had already seen it, but it was fun seeing it with him. Me and Dad used to go to the movies a lot. He is a movie buff, and we had not been because of COVID, so it was fun seeing a movie with him again. All in all, my dad is going to be okay, and so am I. Dad has made it clear to me, do not be mean to Mum and treat her with respect. She is still your mum and she loves you. Yeah, I said I will, and that was that. And before we go on to that final update, we'll start off with 99 Orange, who says you have a good dad. He must be heartbroken, but he doesn't want his feelings to trump your relationship with your mum. That must be hard for him, but it is the right thing to do. At the same time, you're allowed to have some feelings about this and take some space from your mum while you process. This is also a betrayal for you. Good luck. Fanny Bell says, it's kind of messed up that your mum being happy is so out of the ordinary. It makes you think she's on drugs and become suspicious that you started tracking her. Got Locked Out says, hey, I don't know if you will read this and it's probably unwelcome, but if I'm reading this correctly, you got suspicious because your mum was happier than normal and it was bothering you. I really don't want this to sound like I am blaming you. I do not think you did anything wrong. But if her being happy made you unhappy, that might be something to speak to a therapist about. Your relationship with your mum and how her happiness and unhappiness has influenced your relationship and your happiness, it might be worth unpacking. Just a thought. To which OP replies saying, no, at first it did not bother me at all and was happy for her. She started working out and Dad seemed happy and so did she. But after a few months she almost changed personalities and started working more late and acting way more affectionate towards me than she had ever been. She just turned into another person and that is what bothered me. Like I stated earlier, it is one of those scenarios where everything seems fine but something still feels off. At first I put it out of my mind because Mum and Dad seemed happy, but then she started acting way more strangely and even my friends noticed it. This went on for months before it got to the point I just had to know what the hell was going on. At first I had no idea she was even cheating or even considered that at all. I honestly was a little bit worried about her and thought something was wrong. Summer says personal trainers always F all their clients, at least that's my experience. I don't trust any of them and will never work with one again. Take care. And we have one more comment from Vile Rook who says, wow, I'd be so angry. She has the nerve to ask you why you did all this. An apology should have been the first thing out of her mouth. Not only did she disrespect her marriage vows and hurt her husband, she also risked her family as this could or even still might tear it apart with divorce. And she didn't handle her adult business with her husband and work on whatever problems they may have had and got caught by you, putting you in the terrible position of being caught between the two and having to deliver the heartbreaking news to your father. Honestly, if your parents want to try and save their marriage, that's one thing. It's good on your father to remain calm and ask you to still love your mum as she is your parent, but they need to consider your feelings as well. This isn't just between them anymore. Mostly it is, but it's partially your business because this affects the family and you were the one caught in the middle. So they really can't expect you to go back to how things were. That's broken, gone, and done. Your mum threw it away. Your dad can expect you to still love her, but trust, respect, and forgiveness are completely different. She will need to mend her bond, not only with her husband, but she will still need to heal her bond with you as well, for putting you through this, and in the middle. And one more reply from OP who says, I think she was flustered more than anything, and keep in mind, she'd just been told by me that I was the one who informed Dad. Before this happened, I was planning on moving out anyway since I turned 18 in December, so I didn't really have to deal with this for way much longer. Dad understands that I don't trust her, and neither does he, to be fair. He just wanted me to keep the peace, and are still allowed to be pissed, he said. So now we'll move on to the final update. I just wanted to give a quick update since so many have asked. I'm doing okay, and so is my dad. Mum moved out of the house 2 weeks ago, and we have not really spoken since except a few texts. She got her own place and told Mum I would stay with Dad, even though she keeps asking me to come over for dinner every Sunday. Just told Mum I need some time away from her, and she just texted okay back. Dad asked if I wanted to stay with Mum this weekend, but told him no. I'm honestly relieved she is out of the house. They are still technically married, but they are still divorcing. I told my mum I will be staying with my dad until December when I turn 18, and she agreed. So that's it. Not sure if anything else is going to happen really. I guess my mum wants to stay in touch, but I am just avoiding her for now. So not the most exciting update, but that's what happened. And yes, I am seeing a therapist since my dad convinced me to speak to somebody. And Rock You Like a Master asks a question saying, so are you feeling more relieved now that she is gone? Do you think that in the future you'll be able to forgive your mother, or do you think it's something difficult to happen? Even if you forgive her, do you think that your relationship with her will be the same as it was before? OP replies saying, I do feel more relieved since I'm not constantly walking around feeling there is something wrong all the time, and yes, things have changed, it's not going to be the same between us. I just feel I've gotten more suspicious towards people in general. A friend of mine has a girlfriend and she gives me bad vibes as well, but that's something I will stay out of. I've spoken to my therapist and he said it's natural that I have trust issues after this. I couldn't imagine dealing with something like that at 17 years old. And I know it happens often in relationships, but seeing your parents go through that, potentially splitting up, it must be an absolute scary and unsure time. I know they're turning 18 soon, but they're still your parents, aren't they? And if I had a hat right now, I'd take it off to that father for being so, I can't even think of the word. I was going to say mature, but it's not immature to be angry at a situation like this. But the fact that he encouraged his son to still talk to his mum, that she still loves you, etc. and not get bitter and try to break that relationship up like we see in many other posts as well. Anyway, what do you guys make of this story? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and we'll move on to another one. And our next story comes from Young Sezon, and it does follow with an update as well. It says, partner 32 female says I'm perfect, but unsure about building a future with me, 29 male, after going to a best friend's wedding. I've been in an on and off again relationship with this person for the last 2 years. We got back together 3 months ago after 4 months apart, where we both dated other people. Since getting back together, she has told me how perfect it all felt, and she has never had a partner she felt more connected or attracted to. Well, after we went to her best friend's wedding, things have changed. She's explained to me that, after hearing their vows, it didn't sound anything like our relationship and made her question if I was even the right one. Since then, she has asked for space. She said she feels she wants to test the waters with the dating apps again and has been incredibly hot and cold with me. I'm so taken aback, as she had just asked me about my interest in moving in with her, what a wedding would look like, etc. She also said she feels in love with me for a while, then freaks out when things get too serious, and then feels I'm maybe not the one, despite how great a partner I am to her. How should I proceed? What do I make of all this? I feel hurt, as she wanted to rush back into things and made me feel like she was serious about a future together. Should I just cut my losses and leave? And as I said, we do have an update. Now to me, and I can only come into this one thinking what I would do in this situation with the information that I have here, I would want nothing to do with this. I think this is only damaging yourself staying with this person. They don't seem to know what they want. And seeing the words I want to test the waters with the dating apps again, and then being incredibly hot and cold is just sending up those red flags for me. So I would want absolutely nothing to do with this situation. But Adugni says, to me, it seems that she views you as the right partner to have. The life you have is stable, you take care of her, she feels loved and satisfied in bed. Yet she feels that you're not exactly what she's looking for. Something must feel off, and that's why she wants to run from time to time. Let her go, you will never be her first choice. She will settle at best. You deserve so much better. OP replies saying, this is exactly what she said when she tried to explain it to me. Just feels weird after all the I choose you as my person and love of my life statements. Yesterday, she says she wants to be allowed to do what she wants and not feel obligated to spend time with anyone. She also said she wished I could be her best friend with benefits, which hurt to hear, just days after her telling me how great we are together. Antigone says, I definitely understand how hard it is to navigate the situation, but you can't be a part of it. You need to be with someone who is absolutely sure about you, and this will never be her. In the long term, cutting her off will be better for both of you. Best of luck. And OP replies saying, that's probably right. Navigating it though will be tough. This honestly all hurts so much and has me feeling low. It doesn't matter how frequently she could tell me this is not a problem with you, it's a me problem. I feel pretty inadequate about the whole thing. I feel so discouraged and frustrated that she could even entertain finding what she is already getting elsewhere. Each time we have broken up, she has come back because she tried finding a partner to make her happy, only to realize that I was giving her what she was looking for. I don't know what I am doing anymore. I've tried to move on and went no contact each time, but cannot seem to get over it. I feel awful. Yesterday I told her I was feeling bad and told her that even if we are going through a patch where she needs her space, I would like for her to be sweet to me and love on me a bit with her affirmations, etc. She went to the store and bought me some snacks I enjoy and shared some dinner she made with me, but it all felt cold weirdly. She kept saying I do love you, I do care deeply about you, but snapped at me when I asked if we could watch another episode of the show we were watching. On the one hand, those are nice gestures, but it felt like I wasn't getting any of the emotional assurance or affirmation I said I needed. Corgi Lover 90 says cut your losses and stop getting back together with her. You are a safe backup and that is exactly what she will use you as. Don't let her. Tell her she is welcome to go explore the dating apps, but you two are done. No ultimatum, just be done. Because if this is how she is now, it will not get better. OP replied saying I told her a softer version of that the other day, but haven't been great about not communicating. I so badly want a life with her and was told that she never believed she wanted to marry another partner before, but felt that way about me this time. That was a week and a half ago, now this again. I'm struggling with understanding why I'm viewed as a safe backup to her, when I am also who she considers her best partner. I agree with you, it doesn't make any sense to me. Sex is great and she tells everyone about it. She says I make her feel seen and unconditionally loved, that I'm her best friend who she wants to share her moments with. Then why not me as a serious partner? South Coastal says it sounds like she wants you as a backup and these breaks where she is unsure of you are just way of legitimately being allowed to sleep around, then come back to you because she misses you. She's 30, she should have scratched that itch by now. So I'd say she's not the marrying kind, and if you do get married, she'll either cheat on you or carry on asking these ridiculous breaks whenever she meets someone and feels excited by the chase again. If you're looking for commitment, it's time to move on, because you won't get it with her. OP replies one more time saying I think that's right. I had legitimately a good time too while we were broken up, but dated casually and found myself missing her a ton. She was in a bad relationship with a partner who didn't meet her needs. I also think she should have scratched that itch by now. She says she has despite the obvious. I just feel so lost though. I felt confident when I was dating and had fun, but it wasn't the same. From the first time we hooked up to now, the sex has been amazing. We have the same idea of fun, same values, quarantine well, pushed each other to be better, and our family is so good to me. I'm afraid I won't find this again. I struggle to find it while dating around. It's like we have this chemical connection and I'm having difficulty finding that elsewhere. So now we're going to move on to the update to see what that says. Update. We broke up after I found out she cheated on me pretty much immediately after the wedding we went to. She kept texting me, but the text seemed to become increasingly less affectionate each day. I learned that she is leaving me to get back with the guy she left me for the last time, who she left to get back with me. I'm deeply disappointed and feel pretty numb, to be honest. She often expressed how he was not a very attentive or considerate partner and was not particularly good in bed, which I wish I didn't know, even if she meant it as a compliment to me. I figured he was out of the picture after he had a bad public freakout and embarrassed himself by putting his hands on her and showing up to her place sobbing after calling her 30 times when she refused his advances and told him she and I were together. We had a conversation last night, likely our last. She acknowledged that I was the better partner, but for whatever reason cannot see herself marrying me, despite trying to. I asked her if she thinks she will marry him, and she said she believes so. Yeah, right. She flip-flopped a few times at dinner, saying she doesn't know whether or not she will marry him, but currently has very strong feelings for him. She mentioned that one of the selling points of her getting back together with him was that he agreed to go to therapy after his breakdown and would allow her to keep me in her life if she wanted. I told her I had no interest in being platonic friends and that I felt like she was making a big mistake if she did end up marrying him. Her family and some of her friends were surprised and upset by her choice to get back with him. I told her I hope she finds someone who does treat her well and that she is sure about marrying, and reiterated that, as someone who is involved in her life, that she may regret the decision to get back with him. She acknowledged there are definite red flags and hid her head in my arms when I showed her sister's responses to us breaking up / cheating on me. We walked out of the bar, held each other for a while and went our separate ways. I don't know what will happen to her, but now I'm left to pick up the pieces. I am still pretty sad as this all happened in the span of the last 3 days, but I hope to continue working on myself. I take solace in knowing I was a good partner who was adored by her friends and family. I hope I will find someone who possesses her good, fun qualities, but I can trust and is sure about me. I'm not as despondent or as angry as the last 2 times we broke up, but feel pretty sad. Depressed? This will likely sting for a while. And I just gotta say, you don't want to be with this person. This person doesn't know what they want. Do you think that they're going back? They're probably telling this other partner exactly the same thing she's telling you. Do you think she goes to her partner and says, well, you're not very good in bed, but the other guy, he treats me nicely, so that's why I was with him. She tells him exactly the same things that she tells you. And I'm about 85% to 90% sure at one time she's going to message you again and want to get back together. And do you want that in your life? Do you want to go through? Like, you can't trust this person. There's no way you can trust this person, and relationships are built on that. So I'd go far as no contact. This person isn't good for your mental health at all. But Lilith88 says, don't let the door hit her ass on the way out. If she thinks a man that does this, and quotes, he had a bad public freakout and embarrassed himself while putting his hands on her and showing up to her place sobbing after calling her 30 times when she refused his advances, and then says, is marriage material? She's fundamentally broken, and that's on her to fix. I hope you heal and find whatever it is you are looking for in life. You don't deserve this kind of treatment. OP replies saying, lol, seriously, I don't get it. She called it scary little dick energy, but is deciding to get back with it. She said last night that she feels like a broken person to not want what I am giving her. Her friends and family are even saying they never saw her so happy with a partner as they did when she was with me. But apparently that isn't marriage material and this guy is. I seriously do not understand it, and she says she doesn't either. She acknowledged that part of it may be his family has money and she also comes from money. I grew up poor, which I think is more of a subconscious turnoff for her than she is acknowledging. This dude so clearly is just trying to control her and views her as an extension of resource acquisition. She told me when we got back together that he would frequently talk about her parents' money and believes the purpose of life is to procreate, obtain resources, and die, which is pretty fundamentally different than what she believes. I seriously do not understand this decision at all. And then the rest of the comments on this thread are just saying, dude, just leave her. Just let it go. You can do so much better for yourself, and I truly believe that in that situation as well. And I do worry about some of OP's language that, you know, if she was to come back, would he go back with her? Yeah, I hope not. But what do you guys think of this story? What would you do in that situation? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now, a huge thank you for spending your time with me today, getting involved in the stories. As always, there's a playlist at the end with relationship stories, another one with all our stories, well over 1,000 there by now for you to get involved with. And just a huge thank you for spending your time with me. Much love, guys.
Yeah, man, I remember being so naive when life was good, weather and palm trees. Back in the day, you were everything I need. But then along came a time when you crushed my dreams. Oh yeah, you played me like a fool when you made me believe that the line between love wasn't thick enough to read. Oh yeah, you see we in despair, crime everywhere. You're selling false hope cause you just don't care.